Hi friends, it's Marie here again at Marie Nicole Designs. I am playing with this Heffy Doodle stamp set. This is Quill You Be Mine and it is so cute. I ran into Leslie at the Creativation and she was so sweet. She gave me this stamp set and I could not wait to come home and play with it. So I am loading up all of these stamps onto my paper in my Misty. I went ahead and arranged them onto my paper, picking them up with my Misty door so I can stamp them out. Now I'm going to be using my Gina K Amalgam ink for this. Her ink is a hybrid ink. I believe this is a hybrid ink. I'm not sure. But I do know that once it's dry, it is permanent so that you can use it with alcohol markers or watercolors or whatever mediums. I'm going to be using Copics today and a few of my Style File alcohol markers, which are just kind of a cheaper brand, but they work really well. Those are the ones I've started with, and I don't have a lot of Copics, but I do have a good little collection of Style Files, so I use them interchangeably. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp out a lot of these stamps. So I've stamped it out once. I've rearranged the rest of my images and stamped them out again. I like to stamp out a lot of images while I'm coloring. That way if I mess one up, I have one that I've stamped out as backup ready to go. Or if I'm just really into coloring, I'll color them all out, cut them out, and then I'll have extra die cuts to go ahead and add onto another card front later on. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring here. My coloring is really simple. I start with my lightest color and then I add in a mid-tone and a dark, and then I go back and blend it all out with my lightest color. I am not an expert with Copics, but I can color little images like these, and I really enjoy my Copics. I like coloring with them. So you don't have to be an expert to enjoy the coloring process, but I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of music here just so you can enjoy the coloring. If you want to skip through that, you can go ahead and skip to about 5 minutes and 40 seconds if you want to skip the coloring. Otherwise, enjoy the music and I'll be back in a bit. coloring is finished, I'm adding a little rosy cheek here with a little blush color, of my Copics, and my little hedgehog is done. So I've gone ahead and colored the rest of them that same way using those same colors, and I've colored some of their little accessories like the hat and the bow and some apples, and I think these are just too cute. Now I don't have the coordinating dies with these, so I went ahead and fussy cut them out, but the coordinating dies are available. It makes it so easy to just die cut them all at once by running them through your die cutting machine. So I'm going to ink blend a scene here. I'm using Heffy Doodle's Raise the Roof stencil, and I absolutely love this stencil. It makes just a really fun background. Now when I'm stenciling a whole panel like I'm doing here, I usually like to tape it from the back side to my stencil, and that way I can stencil the whole front without any of my tape getting in the way. Also, when I remove the tape when I'm done stenciling, if it tears a little bit, it's going to tear on the back side, so it's not going to ruin my whole image that I spent time stenciling. So just a little tip for you, if you want to tape from the back side, I find that it's got a few benefits to doing it that way. I'm going to go ahead and use my Distress inks. Now I like to use my Distress inks for ink blending because they're a dye ink. They do blend together really well. The colors mix great. You can get that color moving once you saturate your paper, and they are reactive with water, so you can water them down, do a little bit of watercoloring with them if you want, or you can, add some splatters. I think we're all pretty much familiar with Distress inks. I haven't tried Distress ink oxides yet. I know everyone loves them, but I just haven't taken the plunge. I'm considering it though. So if you love your oxides, let me know. Leave a comment down below. How do they blend? Are you happy with them? I know people like to stamp with them as well. I've been doing a lot of research into different inks and which ones give you a great blend, give you a great stamp, can do all the things with. So I'm going to be looking into different inks. So if you have a specific ink, maybe not just Distress ink oxides, but maybe a different ink that you absolutely love and want to recommend to me, just post it down below and I'll check into it, because I know there's a few names on my list that I'm going to kind of look into to see if I can expand my ink collection, because we all know we need more ink, right? Anyway, I am blending out this background on my card. My first color that I used on the bottom was Mermaid Lagoon. That is a darker blue, and I'm blending it out to a lighter blue. I believe this is Tumbled Glass. So it's going from dark out into light, and I just wanted a really sort of a bright kind of light background for this happy little scene that I'm going to build. So I'm just going to go ahead, blend some of this out to the edges, going from dark at the bottom, blending out to light. Not doing a whole lot of crazy blending here. I just wanted to get a nice subtle background. So there's my background. I've peeled my stencil off. You can carefully peel off your paper. And now I'm going to go ahead and move on with the rest of my card. So I have a little grassy hill cut out here. This is a lawn fawn die, and I've cut it out and trimmed it down to the right size. I'm ink blending some Mowed Lawn Distress ink on here. So my brighter color is going to be Mowed Lawn, and then after I've got this Mowed Lawn color on here, I'm going to go ahead and ink blend some Mossy Forest. I think that's the one, just on the bottom, so I get that two-tone color. So I get that brighter green with a little bit of a darker green on the bottom. And it really kind of helps to just make your scene pop a little bit, adding some of that contrast and shadows. I left a little bit of the top of the hill sort of really light. I didn't cover it completely with that Mowed Lawn. So you're going from dark on the bottom up to light, and I think it looked really fun. So once I have this all ink blended, I'm going to show you how I'm going to build my scene. I've got some alphabets from Altenew. They are the bold alpha cap dies. Basically, they're, the capital alphabet, and they're a bold type. And I've cut them out to spell the word hugs, because some of the sentiments on this set is so cute, and I thought I wanted to do like a Valentine's Day card using the word hugs, and hedgehogs it's just so cute. I can't get over it. So I want to layer these behind my grassy hill, just like you see here, but I want them to pop a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and ink blend my letters as well. So I'm using sort of a pinky red color. This is Abandoned Coral. Now I wasn't sure about this color, so I started ink blending on the back of my letter first to make sure I liked that color. That way, if I wanted to switch colors, I didn't ruin the front side of my die cut. I don't have to go die cut another one. But I do like this color. I do think it will pop well with the rest of the colors that I'm using. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink blend all of my letters using this Abandoned Coral. And I'm just gently ink blending it on until I'm satisfied with the color I get. Now, my camera is a little bit overexposed right now because I tend to change between morning desk light and afternoon natural light, depending on when I can sit down and craft. I don't always get the time. So in the morning, I have my camera set to one stop lighter. It's a little bit overexposed to make my scene a little bit brighter. And I forgot to bring that back down to normal exposure, so it's a little bright right now. But those colors are darker than what they appear on the camera, and you'll see at the end I have some photos there that you'll see the colors a little bit more vibrantly. So I'm going to go ahead and ink blend some of these little hearts. Now this is a stencil from scrapbook.com. This is their hearts stencil, and I thought this was perfect to add some of these little heart patterns onto my letters, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more, be a little bit cute. And I've just ink blended hearts on all of them. So here's my scene. I don't have anything glued down yet. I just wanted to lay everything out the way I want it so that I can take a ruler and draw a really light line above that word hugs, because I want to stamp another sentiment from the set above those letters. It's kind of my supporting sentiment. It'll make everything tie together and make sense when you read it. So I wanted to make sure it was in the right place. I wanted to make sure that it was straight. So I drew my straight line. I'm loading it up in my Mini Misty. And then I'm going to stamp it out again using that Gina K Amalgam ink. I'm just kind of tipping my Misty up, making sure it's straight, it's where I want it to go, and then I can just add my ink and stamp it out. Now my sentiments, I really like them to be a crisp black. I want them to be really bold. I want them to be easy to read. So I usually stamp them out about 3 times. It might be a little bit of overkill, but I really like a bold sentiment. So unless I'm using my VersaFine black ink, I'll stamp it out a few times, because VersaFine's a really great dark pigment ink. I just didn't want to wait for that to dry on this project, so I just stamped it out several times. So I'm going to add my hedgehogs here, hedgehogs, and I've got some foam adhesive on the top and some liquid adhesive on the bottom of my images, and that way it will pop it up over the grassy hill, because I have that grassy hill adhered with some foam adhesive. So it's going to stick to the grassy hill and then pop it up over the hugs, and that's just going to make that a height. The same for the whole image. It's going to give it some great support there. I'm trying to figure out where I want the other hedgehogs to go. This little guy with the heart here, he's going to kind of hang off the side a little bit, or not, I can't remember. But he's got foam adhesive on top and glue on the bottom as well. And the last little hedgehog, I'm just going to glue him down with some liquid glue. I didn't think he needed to be popped up again at all, and I'm just going to add him over those 2 little hugging hedgehogs. They are so cute. I've also added that little hat to the guy over there holding the heart, and this little hedgehog that I'm putting on right now, he's going to be wearing a bow, or she. So I've got my scene all put together here. I'm using my 2-inch wide foam adhesive from scrapbook.com, and I love this adhesive because I like to pop up my card fronts, and this is perfect for doing that. You can also use foam, craft foam, and cut a panel down and glue it on, but this foam adhesive is so easy to use. It's easy to cut. The backing paper comes off, which I love because I hate struggling with backing paper on foam adhesive. Easy to pop up your card fronts with. So I have that linked down below, as well as all the other items that I've used for today's card. I'm going to pop this on a card base, and that's going to finish my card for today. So I hope you love this Quill You Be Mine set from Heffy Doodle as much as I do. I think it's so incredibly cute. Go on over to my blog. I have links down below for more photos. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.